Hello, beautiful, light-filled souls. Trisha Barker here. Thank you so much for those of you who signed up for a reading with me or who have met for Theta Healing. It's such a pleasure to meet you one-on-one. And it's also a pleasure to meet you in groups, writing groups, spiritual groups. Love connecting with people. And this video is, since I am certified as a Theta healer and I've talked about healing in the NDE, this is a video I hope will help you heal quicker and heal in a more fully integrated way. That's something I've been thinking about lately. After my near-death experience, hearing about quantum healing seemed like just reality to me because I was participating so easily with that level of, oh, these are my angels, they're going to help me with my back. And I had heard in surgery that I'd walk again. So I didn't have any doubts. I had full belief that within a year I would run, and I did. And that level of healing, I was participating with this blue light from the angels that entire time. Many times when I was in great, great pain and could barely move, that first week or two, going to the bathroom was painful, but I still was just in that realm more often than not. And then less so as I was able to read more and do other things, and my body began to feel better. And that was probably the right amount to participate with that quantum level. When you can't do anything else, maybe that is the time to deeply meditate and to practice your own expansion of your own healing abilities and believe in yourself. Because I think in order to shift something, there is a required amount of belief. And don't ever beat yourself up for not having enough, because an NDE and an STE or just a spontaneous healing for someone is, of course, going to give them a lot of belief. I couldn't help but have a ton of belief. If I had been the me before my near-death experience, or if I'd had that accident and never had a near-death experience, I may have read a lot of books, I may have considered these ideas, but I don't think I would have gone right to that realm and started participating with this stuff. So if this is a journey for you, first of all, do not beat yourself up. I'm going to give you some tips that hopefully will help you incorporate healing a bit more. So what does it take for you to believe? I mean, that's a basic question that you can ask yourself without any judgment, without any looking down on yourself or frustration about the situation. Just ask yourself, what does it take? And then ask yourself, if I was more like a little child, if I had that joy that children have, that awe, that wonder of what comes next, what is this moment about? If I had more of that in my life, would I be more open to healing? And I think the answer for most people is yes, that little children enjoy life. And I think many times adults and the drudgery of work or routines make us try very hard to have better lives, but not really enjoy the lives that we're already living. And I think the key right now, if this resonates for you, is to stop trying. First of all, just stop and start enjoying. So don't do a single thing differently. Just live your life moment by moment with more joy, more wonder, more openness to the universe, more openness to messages from angels, synchronicity, signs, however it is that you want to gather all this information, telepathy with your pets, telepathy with others, whatever it is that you're moving towards at some quantum level or towards some evolution for humanity. Just experience it moment to moment. Be open to it. Believe in that, and watch the verified details come into your life. Watch more of this excitement expand your life. So, there are people who find signs where there aren't signs because they're hopeful or it's wishful thinking. But this is a different type of energy. This is the type of energy where you are nothing more than what you are, and open, curious, what comes next? That's the type of energy that makes life fun, that makes creating a video fun, that makes working on any project fun, is you almost have to trick yourself into having fun. And I tell that to my students when they're writing papers. Pick a topic or pick a goal for yourself while writing the paper that somehow is fun. And you can do this even with spirituality and spiritual growth. Why not pick I want to experience more verified moments of telepathy with my pets. I'm going to try to read what they're asking for and see if I get it right. And you can do this in any direction that you want. If you're connecting with loved ones on the other side, ask them for specifics, and then watch how these specifics unfold. And it might be as simple as you ask for advice in some area and you feel this resonance with someone who loves you on the other side, guiding you in one direction, and it works out pretty well. Then, that is a verified detail. I think so many times people just brush off the possibility that they did get an important message from someone on the other side, or that they were guided, or that they were helped in some way. So one of the keys to reaching that required level of belief to shift things in the body and in oneself and one's world is to offer deep empathy to yourself and to others, and also to just be more like a little child. So when you ask yourself, how can you be more like a little child? Many times I've told people to go to nature because it is a very pleasant, beautiful, healing experience generally for people. But there's more to it than that. There is simply shifting energy, and shifting the energy in your home, shifting the energy in your work environments. And people often ask me about, what if there's a negative energy left over from the previous tenants, or someone who lived in my house before I bought it? That's really actually easy to clear. You don't have to have sage, but sometimes it helps to set a mood with that kind of event. But it's also belief, and it's also just calling in the light, and really calling to God. You can call to Jesus, you can call to your angels, you can call to anyone that you want, and really just saying, hey, bring the light into the area of my home, my yard, my neighborhood, and really deeply visualizing that, and that light just sending any old energy or stagnant energy to a different realm. So it's just no longer at your house. Perhaps it moves on and is healed. You can offer healing to any energies there, and really just kind of reclaim the space energetically. And you don't have to do a great ceremony with it. I really just think part of it is connection to the light and calling in the light and visualizing this. Of course, there are some areas that are a little bit trickier, and I've heard of lots of different people. And years ago, I did ghost clearings with a couple of different friends, but sometimes it is a little bit trickier, especially if someone in the household is connected to a negative entity. Then that becomes a little more challenging. But in general, you can work with energy in that way. The other thing that I want to say about healing is I am optimistic, and I can be somewhat of a cheerleader. And I do want to push people's thinking about healing to quicker and quicker levels. So you'll see some shorts coming out, which may be a little bit on the humorous side, because I do like to access that childlike joy. I am not in any way diminishing the years and years of work that some practices take. And I am just seeding the possibility that maybe many of us have done so much work and so many different modalities and so much learning in so many areas, that maybe now is not the time to try anymore. Maybe now is the time to integrate all the wisdom traditions, all the spiritual books, all the videos, all the talks, all the motivational talks, and really crystallize it in a way that it's a part of you. And it's a part of how you live, and it's information that you can access at any time. It is an upgrade to your system in every possible way. And it allows you to live life more fully and more happily without trying to pull energy from any source, really to being your own generator of great energy and your own generator of great bliss. And that's what I'd like to present through these series of shorts that I do. Will some offend people out there? Probably, but I think I'm going to offend people anyway I go. So I'm just going to be me. But I do want to say to those of you who follow me, if you see some of these and you're like, oh my God, that's really way out there, I'm hoping just to give a little bit of healing that might be right for some people in these shorts and maybe shift someone into a spontaneous healing at the highest possibility. And the range could be a little bit of humor, or at least planting the thought that healing can happen quicker, that required belief that you need can be accessed through the story of near-death experiences and spiritually transformative experiences, that you can integrate all those and have enough of that knowledge, enough of those mental images, enough of your own opening to go, you know what, now I understand that level of healing. Now I really have integrated this fully and I can make shifts. And even if you make just a tiny shift in one short video or one meditation, you're chipping away at something that maybe you don't know when you're going to reach your required level of belief to shift things. But you'll reach it, and it will be your journey, and a beautiful journey. And I'm not so optimistic to think that me or anyone alive right now is going to live to be 290 years old. I think we're going to push the levels, though. I think we're going to slow down aging. I think that, there'll be breakthroughs in so many different ways. I think that we are going to live more enlightened lives because of all the information that we've consumed in the past decade. Eventually, eventually we are going to get to better places of shifting the world's thinking. And so this is my attempt to shift thinking through a little bit of humor and a little bit of playfulness, but also some seriousness. Why not heal in a minute? Why? And that's what I plan to do is short little talks and healings under a minute on a variety of pretty complicated subjects. But we've all, if you follow me, you have studied what I'll be referencing, and you'll understand and maybe get a chuckle.